So my hair is actually just been washed and I have very straight hair, but I did have it the last probably 30 minutes. I had it twisted up into a low bun like this. And so I've got a slight bit of texture in my hair, which I like. I always like to start my hair not perfectly smooth. So either I wash it at night, sleep on it wet, or if I wash my hair during the day, I do that to give a little bit of a natural bend. But from here, I'm going to add in some movement with my curling iron because I know my hair, and even though it looks kind of cool right now, it will look bad in 20 minutes. It won't stay. So we have to create some texture. And I've gotten back into using my small curling iron again. So this is 1.25 inches, possibly an inch. I always mess up on this. It's 1 inch or 1.25 inches. And I don't have it turned up all the way. I have it turned up to 45. And this is a Babyliss Pro. So here's what we're gonna do. Split my hair in the middle. And I always start just at the very front. It's pretty straightforward. You just want to be moving your curling iron while you are curling it. So you always are starting at the root because that's where you want the most heat, and then working it through the ends. And it's going to make this really beautiful ringlet that we won't worry about because we'll make the hair look cool in a few minutes. Notice that I keep the ends out, and that's what keeps the curl looking modern because you don't want to have curled ends. You want to keep those straight. This is breakage. This is breakage from curling my hair and lightening it. Okay, so I basically have the 4 top layers done. Then I just separate and go underneath. The piece right in front of my ear, this section, I always like to make sure I get all the way close to the root because this is one of the most important pieces of your hair that you curl, because you see it the most. So I always make sure that that one is perfect. And then as I work my way back, I'm a little less precious. I don't care as much because a lot of this stuff is just underneath and it just needs texture. So if you are someone that has naturally frizzy hair, this technique of putting the hair through the curling iron is really good for you because as it is curling, it's also smoothing. That's why I'm not wrapping it around. That's why I'm actually physically putting it through the clamp. And this hair back here is not damaged, so I can hold it into my curling iron a little longer. I think it's important to know your hair and know the areas that you can keep the heat on longer and the areas that you need to be really careful with how long you are keeping it in the iron. Okay, So this section, we are going to let it dry and cool down just like this. So you can see what that looks like. It looks really bad, but just wait because it will look really good soon. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Cool off a bit, so I think that's a really important step that you might forget is you want to give yourself maybe even 5 minutes, go get dressed, do your makeup, whatever, and just let the ringlets, let these fabulous ringlets stay. So now if I take my brush and comb it out, you can see how it just softens the full look. So you get a lot of fullness and you get that bend, especially I told you these two pieces up at the front are the most important. And you shouldn't be afraid to brush your hair because you used a smaller curling iron and you want the waves to be big so they're set in there.
What kind of brush is that?
This is a brush, it's called Bass. I bought it on Amazon. It's kind of like a Mason Pearson almost. Not as fancy, but it's amazing. So for myself, I like to tuck my hair behind my ears a lot. So you can see those front pieces with the tuck, they kind of have that nice bend. But then also when you take it out, it's almost like it turns into this really uniform wave. And then the final factor would be probably what I'm gonna do. A little bit of cream. This is called Milk, and it's just kind of a really lightweight natural cream. I like to put this in kind of my dry section, so I have a bit of breakage through this area on both sides. And I'm almost just kind of pressing the product in, same with my ends. I kind of just scrunch it in. So you can do that anywhere you feel like you get a little dry or you want a little bit more texture or hold. And then this is something I do because I have very shiny, clean hair, which I'm not complaining about, but sometimes if you want a little bit more of a textured look, it could be annoying. So what I'll do occasionally, my iron's on, and I actually push my hair up with my hands, and I go in, and I just kind of give a little bit of heat and texture at the roots. So it's almost kind of like back combing your hair. But you can see how that just gave me like a little bit of fullness and a little bit of fuzz on that side. So if my hair is clean, I usually will do that. You want to go against the grain. But don't go too nuts with this because you also don't want to cause damage to your root. It's just usually that hair right at the top is a lot more smooth and healthy. And I like it to be a little bit fuzzy on top. Final look. I like doing this because I usually only curl my hair like every 3 days. So it's going to be a little bit of tighter curl today, and then tomorrow will be a little bit looser, and so on and so forth. So here's a hack for if you are taking a selfie or a photo. So as I said, I always like to put my hair behind my ears, but I think it's all about the movement that you create between your fingers, and that automatically gives you fuller hair, which is going to photograph better. So even if it's just for that selfie or a quick shot that you have to take, if you kind of just do this little trick, you get automatic volume, which always translates really well on camera. A little bit of a shake, a little bit of a movement, and this is how you do it. So, hope you.